everyone, welcome back to the Gridiron Gals podcast. I'm your girl Rita, the NFL chick.
And hey everybody, it's Chelsea, aka Chelsea's Right.
We are moving to week 10, Chels. We're starting to get closer and closer to week 18. So it's been a whirlwind of sorts. So we got to start with your Cowboys playing the Philadelphia Eagles. It wasn't a Sunday night game, but it was a quasi primetime game. It started at 4:25, and it was really entertaining, to say the less. It did not disappoint. That is what divisional games are supposed to look like. Unfortunately, friend, I know it came at the hands of a Cowboys loss, but for somebody like me that doesn't have a dog in the fight, that's the type of football games we want to see. We want to see stuff like that. It had drama. It had, scoring. It was a lot going on. And, there was some controversy because every week the refs love to insert themselves some type of way. So another controversial call. How do you feel about that game and about your Cowboys? And the refs, if you want to go off on them too, because,
at this point, my nerves have calmed down, and most importantly, I've sobered up. So by the end of that game, I didn't know what was happening. It was very stressful, very, very stressful. I enjoy watching games like that when it's not my team playing. But, I don't believe in moral victories. I think a victory is a victory. If you didn't win, you didn't win. But it was weird that that after that game, I felt like, okay, all right, I see what's going on. We played the best team in football, arguably, right? And down to the last literally 2-3 seconds, we had a chance to win that game. That offense looked better against the Eagles. Like, they always say, oh, like, y'all ain't playing nobody's defense. The Jets defense was number one. We beat them up. It didn't count. This one counts, right? Because who else is there left, right? So up against the Eagles defense, that offense was clicking. Running game, needs some work. I don't know if this Tony Pollard experiment is not working. And everybody was like, oh, Zeke is this. You miss him, don't you? Huh?
Do you think that the Tony Pollard experiment is not working because he probably needs someone to come in and like a
open it up for him? Yes. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. I don't think it's Tony Pollard is not working. I think the way that they want to use him as running back, the way that they want him to be the feature back and to carry the heavy load, I don't think that's working. They know that's not working, but the options are limited at this point. And so, like, there are aspects about Ezekiel Elliott that are irreplaceable, and that is why he's that generational type person. And no matter what people think about him, like, he served a purpose, and now we can see where some gaps that he has left. But the fact that Dak was comfortable enough to use his legs and get out of that pocket, and when that brother was getting out the pocket, baby, you wasn't going to be able to do nothing for him. He too big. He's a big boy. So I was really happy about that. CeeDee Lamb was stunting. Michael Gallup was shave pointing.
I feel like we can say, listen, Michael Gallup is a guy that he got potential, but for whatever, he can. He is a guy that gets separation. It's not a problem for him. It's them hands, though. What you doing about them hands, Michael Gallup?
Hey, listen, he at least two very key drops. Like, and when you get a game.
Every week for him. I feel like
every week. And when you get a game like that where we lost by 5 points, that's when you start looking at those little teeny mistakes, and that's when the ref stuff starts to matter. Because like I don't like to be on there, well, the refs decided the game type thing. But hey man, we've been seeing that. And even on the final play of the game, and the Eagles fans, first of all, can't none of y'all whoop my ass. Let me just start off like that. But y'all been talking all week long about fussing about the Cowboys, fussing about calls. When y'all be fussing about calls all the time, when you don't get a call, when any little thing don't go your way. But That last call with Jake Ferguson and that last play of the game, that man was tackled before he got that ball. And any other day of the week, y'all know what that is. So don't even try it. And that is a game decision. That's a game time thing. I thought the Cowboys was done at that last possession. When they got that ball that back and marched down that field, now you're talking about the refs deciding games. But I'm also to the point where, like, there's nothing you can do about it. The refs are not going to come out and say, oopsie, made a mistake. We'll give y'all the win, or we'll let you replay that down. That's none of that is going to happen. But you have to be able to be objective. Well, I know fans are not always objective. I think I'm an objective fan. There were mistakes that we made, mental errors, mostly mental errors that we made that can go to that games, especially like the holding penalties and all of that. And I ain't even gonna talk about how y'all don't never call no holding on my boy. They be having Michael Parsons in the vice script out there. Never calls anything like that. But and so back to the rest for a second. You don't want them to be able to have that much control over the game, and we've been seeing that in several games this year. And like something really has to be something significantly done about that. But I'm like, if you can be proud of I'm proud of the way they play. I like the way they played. They gave me better confidence. I'm not closing my eyes when offense is out there and just be like, I'll watch on defense. I got more confidence in them. Now my confidence in the offense is right up there with the confidence in the defense. And Dak has had 3 games in a row where he has been an outstanding player. 3 in a row. He got his groove back. 3 in a row.
I mean, no, I'm not. This is me looking at.
Hey, I know how you feel exactly, and so and we know that that dumbass Stephen A. Smith won't come on there. He won't talk about the Cowboys, but even he had to say that the Cowboys fans should be confident. Y'all can't say nothing about Dak this week for the 3rd week in a row. You can't say nothing about him.
Right.
He is playing good ball. So that's how I feel about it. Y'all know my brother is an Eagles fan. My brother is a very diplomatic Eagles fan. He is hey, y'all, good game. Hey, he texted me. He was like, hey, man, y'all had us on the ropes. I was like, oh, I know you had the bubble guts for a while. but it was just a good game. It was just a good game. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a way back when, that Denver Broncos game, Tony Romo versus Peyton Manning going toe for toe with them touchdowns.
I remember that.
And it was just I was just like,
game.
I don't know who gonna win. Who gonna get the ball last? And it was just like, we lost that game, but my God, Tony was playing lights out.
Yeah.
So that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. I definitely remember that game. I believe it was 2013 because I was in Miami that weekend. So everybody was crowded around the TV because it was so good after
it was
the
so
fact.
Good.
Yep. But ultimately, I'm with you on that. Moral victories don't exist. Y'all got to stop saying stupid shit like that. Do you think do good things come out of, essential losses in terms of like what you see on film? Sure. Down me, but that's it. I mean, it's still an L,
it's good things come out of it. And also the Cowboys have not had mid-ground with losses this year. It's either they lose big or they win big. And this was a midpoint. There's no moral victories because the moral victories don't count, but you can walk away and be like, all right, I see what happened. I see what we need to clean up. I see we need to put some duct tape reverse order around Michael Gallup's hands or something. I see we need to use Jake Ferguson a little bit much. Hey, how about I see we need to possibly, maybe, I don't know, use Brandon Cooks a little bit more. You got a lot of places to look and look at your film and see what kind of adjustments you need to make. We play the Giants this weekend, so I mean, I don't know how much of a test of skill that will be, but hey, it is what it is. And we move on.
And we move on. But let's stick to the NFC East. The New York Giants, dog. Daniel Jones is gone. He tore his ACL. Tyrod Taylor is gone with an injury that he sustained a couple weeks ago. This is a mess. And I say that, okay. with this team, with the way that they are currently constructed, I really don't understand why you don't move a guy like Saquon Barkley if you're the Giants, because you got a lot of issues, and now you don't have a quarterback. I don't even know who the third string quarterback is, Charles.
I have
Do you?
absolutely no idea who it is, and you are wasting Saquon.
You await that, and so my thing is that you could have gotten some draft picks for that young man. You could have
Yeah,
started building for 2024, and yet the Giants front office is incompetent and decided to keep a man that is essentially that $10 million that they gave him is being wasted because they're
yep.
not going to win many football games from this point on. That offensive line stinks. I mean, that defense is decent, but I mean, they're just not a good football. I don't know when is Darren Waller coming back because he got injured as well. It just a mess. This is a
It's a
mess.
mess. It is a mess, and not only playing, it's just bad ball, bad ball. Like 34. What is it? 33-0, 34-0 to the Raiders. Like that's just bad football. And I mean, yeah, you got the injuries, and yeah, but other teams have lost significant players. Other teams, the Vikings lost their starting quarterback, and they won.
Yep.
So it's just bad things. But I know the Giants got rid of Leonard Williams, and then I yeah, I never really thought about why they didn't shop away
Yeah, you
Saquon
got
Barkley.
rid of Leonard Williams, but then just said, okay, well, we're going to keep Saquon even though we stink. And even though we
Yeah.
probably, we're not going to give him a long-term deal. I just don't understand the logic behind any of this. It makes no sense to me. So
They
I
took
would
a
love
big
to,
gamble. They took a big gamble in the offseason. They took a big
yeah,
gamble on Danny Dimes, and then they franchised Saquon, and they had big high hopes.
yep,
And now I don't know how it works, with people being franchised and traded. I don't know how that part works, but you definitely should have tried to find some loopholes or something. Um,
yes, I found it. They will start Tommy DeVito. Matt Barkley
that's
will be
why they were
coordinator.
calling him Danny DeVito's son. Okay. I love
so
y'all. Y'all are so funny.
so Tommy DeVito is getting his start. Matt Barkley will be his backup.
Matt who?
Barkley.
Girl, where they get Matt Barkley from?
Matt Barkley been riding around. He's been on. He he been on the other roster with the kids for years. He just keep riding down there, just hoping for an opportunity.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, he's one of
Matt
those
Barkley.
practice squatters. He's a squat. He's a practice squad squatter is what I would
Oh
call
my
him.
goodness.
Because he's just been hanging around, but
Yeah.
he's obviously still been here for years, and that's the funny part. So he will be the backup while Tommy DeVito is the guy. Don't
Tommy
know who that is.
DeVito.
Don't know who that is. Good luck, Giants fans. I understand. Yeah, look, last year was probably an anomaly. Daniel Jones was trying to get paid. And I'm not going to blame the whole season on Daniel Jones because that line is terrible. But Daniel Jones was never a guy that should have gotten $40 million. I don't care what
No,
the
no,
Vikings
no,
did
no.
last year.
No.
I don't give a
Mm.
damn. Okay. Saquon Barkley is what made that offense go at the end of the day. So, yeah, y'all in hell. I don't really know what else to say about that.
Dante's Inferno.
I just
Mm, my Lord.
oh my God. So there we are for that one. And moving along, I want to talk about Antonio Pierce. And we know that he was the interim coach at the Raiders, and they got their first win, and they won big. They had Aiden O'Connell, who a lot of people really liked in preseason, but it's preseason. It's really hard to tell what a guy will look like when it comes to playing against starters. But Aiden O'Connell was a guy that a lot of Raiders fans felt like was probably better than Jimmy G. And I mean, so far it feels like that was the right move because the first thing Antonio Pierce did was sit Jimmy G down. He said, I'm not, what we're not going to do is this. Okay. Because this man
I've seen
stinks.
enough. Yeah.
I've seen more than enough. Okay. So
I've
we
seen
got him
enough.
out of here. So they beat the Giants. And look, I understand that the Giants are not a good football team. And then also Daniel Jones went down. So I understand all the things. But still, that defense is still there. And they scored 30 points against that defense. So O'Connell was 16 for 25, 209 yards. He didn't have any touchdowns or interceptions, but
Mhm.
hey, Jimmy G probably would have had 2 interceptions,
Yeah.
knowing knowing him. So how do we feel about Antonio Pierce potentially getting an opportunity to be like a real coach? Because he's so far saying all of the right things. He's saying that the practice squad kids are allowed to be on the field, something that Josh McDaniels didn't allow
Mhm.
previously. And that they're a team, and he's saying all of the right things. What do you think?
So I think that everybody likes that term culture, right? I think that he's bringing back some old school Raiders feel, like that energy that he's bringing through. You clearly see he got the locker room. That's the first time I seen Devontae Adams smile in a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good deal. I think I think it's super black, and I like that. And I just hope they give him a real shot. They saw what happened when they had an interim coach, and then they got rid of that interim coach and brought in Josh McDaniels. So how about sticking with the guy that can motivate the people on your team? Um, you know what I mean? Like, how about just sticking with that guy? So I'm all excited about it, and I'm gonna tell you now, he ain't bad to look at either. So,
Oh my God! So being Jimmy G, but now he ain't Jimmy
oh
G. So
well, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
um,
So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm excited. I think that is exactly like you lose your head coach, your GM, and Mark Davis with his terrible haircut still owns the team, and that was a good little thing for the Raiders fans to see your new interim coach and get a big blowout win and just re-energize everybody on that team. And
yeah.
football is football. Football is historical, and football is always good when the Raiders having a good time.
That's a fact, Jack. A
Mhm.
fact. Okay. That is a fact. All right. D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud. This tandem has been fun, man. It has been fun to watch them develop and be the guys that I think, that they're I don't know how many games people projected them to win. I mean, maybe 4 or 5
Yeah,
games, I'd have to assume. And it feels like, Chels, that they're a little bit ahead of schedule. I mean, they're playing teams really, really well. And, they had Sunday he had 470 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and he had a game winning drive with 46 seconds left. CJ Stroud. This kid, look,
hey,
because we talk bad shit about Ohio State quarterbacks. I mean, for the most part, they just don't really pan out. But this kid, I think he's
different,
changing the narrative for sure.
different, different. And to be able to facing something like that this early in your career and being successful with it, I mean, it only goes up from here. I'm happy for him. I'm wondering how how's the Panthers feel right now.
Listen, now we're gonna have a conversation about your boy Bryce Young and my boy too, because I love Bryce Young. I think that
I like
Bryce
him a
Young
lot.
is a great.
Yeah.
I think that Bryce Young has all of the things. I think Bryce Young is too small, and
Hey,
that's what.
before you started, I was getting ready to do this. Too
Yeah,
small.
yeah. But I've always said this about them. I said if I was the Panthers, and apparently the owner of the Panthers thought that they were going to get CJ Stroud because there was some videos that came out and was like, yeah, we can't wait to like work with you and all of this other stuff. And then the GM and the head coach said, "Gotcha, bitch," and went another way.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Hey, man, that's a
Well,
fireable
well,
offense,
well.
by the way. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think owners should really get in the way of stuff like that, but I can understand why he felt like CJ Stroud was better. CJ Stroud, to me, has a better build. CJ Stroud, um, they have a lot of same qualities, him and Bryce Young, but the build is different. I like the way that he moves. And there was some weird narrative going on, like, oh, well, people were saying like he's not necessarily like a Josh Allen in terms of moving. Whoa, that's not true. And did you watch the semifinal game against Georgia? You couldn't have. because he can
Yeah.
scoot. I don't understand where that narrative came from, but there's that. But Bryce is soaking wet 200 pounds, 5'10". I'm sorry. And
And
yes, there
5'10"
are.
is being generous. I think
That's
that they
probably
thought
being
they were,
generous.
yeah. I think they thought they was getting a little Drew Brees type action or whatever, but
Drew Brees is bigger. I mean, and I'm not
yeah,
talking about taller. They're probably the
he's a
same height.
bigger, bulkier guy.
Bigger.
Yeah,
Exactly. And people have mentioned, Kyler Murray, bigger. Russell Wilson, bigger. These
bigger,
guys are bulkier
super
than
big.
Bryce
Yeah,
Young. So I don't know,
yeah,
and I don't know what's going to help make him I mean, he's going to have to bulk up. That's what's going to have to happen. But I don't know how that. I mean, luckily for him, he doesn't necessarily run. He's not like that mobile of a quarterback, so it
yeah.
won't
He's
really
pocket.
affect him like moving around. But I mean, you got to wonder if he's even able to put that kind of weight on to help him. But um ultimately, man, CJ Stroud has just been phenomenal. He's been fun to watch. The Texans got a real good deal out of getting D'Amico, who really could have gotten that Denver job, but he was waiting for the Texans job. He wanted to go
Waiting for the
back to
Texas to
Houston
go back.
because I believe his wife is from Houston, so he wanted to go back
Mm-hmm.
home. And then having CJ Stroud as his quarterback, that's fantastic.
What a way to start off your NFL coaching career.
Hey, Lan, listen.
What a way. I'm happy for him. Hey, hold on though, Rita. Shout out to the previous head coach though for setting that all up.
And who was that? Tell him who it was.
What's the name? Shit, what did
Lovey?
I just
Was it
say?
Lovey? Was it
Lovey,
Lovey?
yeah, Jesus,
Was it
Lovey.
Lovey?
Whoa, Lovey Smith said, "On my way out, guess what I'm gonna do?
Win a fucking game.
And
Yeah.
y'all got that second round pick. I'm gonna win this game. Y'all got the second, and because of Lovey Smith, you got C.J. Stroud and not Bryce Young.
I mean, you had no choice.
My.
Right, you had no choice. Right, you had no choice because the
You had no
Panthers
choice.
flubbed that. Right, the Panthers flubbed that and really messed that up. So you really had no choice but to get because you had to get a quarterback, and
You
just
had
so
to get
happens
it.
that you got the right
Yeah.
one. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean we don't know. I mean they may have had the first round pick and taken C.J. Stroud. They may have. We don't know. But what we do know is that you got the second round pick and ended up getting them. So shout out to Lovey Smith. I can't believe I had a brain fart on his name, but yeah, shout out
Yes.
to Lovey Smith on that one.
Yes, I love it. Shout out to Lovey. Um, we love all the black head coaches around here. All the black, and you know what? Back to the Raiders real quick, because speaking of which, we talked about Antonio Pierce. Shout out to them. At the moment, they have the first black president, first black GM, and the first black head coach all at the same time. And then shout out to D'Amico Ryan, who's to me so far over exceeded some
Oh,
expectations thus
absolutely.
far.
Mm-hmm.
That's been fun to watch. All right,
Yep.
let's do some picks, friend. It is week 10, and it is time to see what is going on. Okay. By the time y'all hear this, the Panthers and Bears will have been played, but we don't give a damn. That game stinks, so we don't care who wins.
Don't put
Either
that on
way.
TV. Don't put that on TV.
Yo, put that on Tubi. Put that game on Tubi, dog. We don't want to see that shit.
They should have put that Raiders and Giants game on Tubi last week. Sorry, Raiders fans, but anybody want to watch that? Nobody want to watch that. Girl, she said, put it on Tubi. I am done.
On Tubi. Hey, dog, kick that and put that one in the volcano. Put this Thursday night in the volcano. So by the time y'all hear this, that game will be played. So we don't give a damn about that one. Colts at Patriots. They are the 9:30 game. They're in Germany, I believe.
Y'all done took that badass football team across the pond.
Another game that could have been punted in the sun.
Tubi. Should have been on Tubi. I'm going with the Colts, of course, but it should have been on Tubi.
Oh my God, this game stinks. What the fuck, man? Yeah, I mean, I don't think Mac Jones is good, so I'm going with the Colts. And Bill Belichick about to lose his job. You gonna lose your job.
Ooh.
Texans.
You talking about the internet breaking, boy? When that hit and he lose and they fire him,
he ain't gonna do nothing but go to Washington next year.
I know. Ooh,
but
that'd be nice.
Texans at Bengals.
Hey man, look, I know this is a dumb pick. I'm picking the Texans because I just believe now. I believe. Let's go. Do it.
Mm,
Do it. Shake the
I
table.
mean, please speak that into existence. I can't do that yet, but I think that the Texans can make this a fun game for sure.
Shake the
I
table.
gotta go. I gotta go with the Bengals because they gotta get set up to lose next week against the Ravens. So I'm gonna roll with that.
Okay.
The Browns go to Baltimore to face the Ravens. As of right now, every single team in the AFC North would be qualified to make a playoff appearance. By the way,
Oh, y'all bad, huh?
bang.
Ravens. I'm gonna take the Ravens at home. I'm
Yeah, I'll
taking the
take the
Ravens at
Ravens in a
home.
close one. I think Deshaun Watson being
Mhm.
back is cool, but he still ain't 100%. And they don't. I think that their left tackle is out. So some rookie is coming into play. So good luck with
Okay.
that. Um, Saints at Vikings. Yo,
What?
Josh Dobbs is keeping them afloat.
Josh Dobbs said, "Don't count me out."
That's what he said.
I'll go with the Vikings at home.
Okay.
I'll go with the Vikings at home.
All right. Yeah, I don't trust Derek Carr. I just
What?
don't.
Hell no. Mm-mm.
Does Justin Jefferson come back? I'm curious, but I feel like if he is, then that's another weapon that Josh Dobbs could use. So I'll take the Vikings at home. Packers at Steelers.
Oh, Steelers.
I'm so tired of the Steelers winning fucking games that they shouldn't be winning. They
I'm
should not
sorry,
be 5
friend.
and 3 right now. Like, yo, they
They
are
gonna
so
win
well
that one
coached.
though.
They are so well coached. Oh God,
Ah,
they're
they gonna
so
win
well
that one.
coached. Because Kenny
They
Pickett
are.
stinks.
Shout out to Virginia's own Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, he is. He is. Mike Tomlin is doing. He's doing a damn thing. That God, yes, the Steelers is gonna fucking win this game because the Packers ain't good either. Um, Titans and Buccaneers.
I wouldn't be opposed to putting this on Tubi.
Because they
Um,
both 3-5.
yeah, I'm gonna go
The
with the
Will
Titans though.
Levis, the Will Levis
The
era
Will
has
Levis
begun.
era. I think yeah, I'm gonna go with the Titans. Yeah, yeah. Come on, Will Levis. Make it
I'm
a
gonna go
game.
with the I'm gonna go with the Bucks still.
Okay.
But I don't love it. I don't love either one. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's why it's a push. It's currently
Hmm.
literally not -1 bucks. So it's a push essentially.
Yeah.
Um 49ers at Jaguars. You think that the Niners get back on track?
I don't know. Did they do their ritual?
Did you guys do your ritual? Chell said.
And they're at Jaguars?
Yes.
I'm picking the Jaguars.
Okay. I'm gonna pick the Jags too, but if Debo is back or Trent Williams, I'm more inclined to pick the 49ers. I think
Hmm.
for me
They
depends
need
on
all their pieces. Hmm.
yes, they need all of their pieces. So and if he's not concussed, because remember he literally just passed concussion protocol like hours before
Hmm.
the Bengals game, then maybe I'd be inclined to pick the Niners. But all of those guys, all those three things have to happen. He has to not be concussed anymore. Debo and Trent Williams have to play. Um, Falcons at Cardinals. They are starting Taylor Heineke this weekend, the Falcons, because they benched Desmond Ritter.
Cal,
Kyler Murray might
Kyler
play
Murray's
this
supposed to
week.
be back this week, ain't it? Ain't Kyler Murray supposed to be back this week?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Tyler Heineke in the Falcons for no reason other than I just have to pick someone.
I am doing the same.
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing. And also I think because there's been a lot of talk about why Bijan has not gotten touches the way he should. So I feel like somebody's gonna force some carries on Bijan as a result. Lions at Chargers. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm picking the Lions.
Every time I want to pick the Chargers, dog, I just don't feel comfortable because they're 4-4. They're to be expected. Like they got talent, and then they just over there, just over there. They just there. I don't know how to feel about this. And I'm with you. Like, I'm sorry. Like the Chargers are they're not dependable. They're not reliable. I'm picking the Lions as well. Giants at Cowboys. There's no need for us to even go through this. Cowboys are 16 and a half favorites. Let's move along. And y'all know who we picking over here because you know Charles don't pick against her boys. Commanders at Seahawks. Interesting.
That should be, and they're in Seattle.
Yes, that's correct.
Uh, I'm picking Seattle. Hopefully, they get it
Okay.
together this week. You know, they
Yeah,
have a big home field advantage.
yeah, they do. That 12 man is real. So I'm going with the
Hmm.
Seahawks as well. Although I think that the Commanders will will be a
Oh,
no name.
they're gonna make it a game. They very scrappy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're a scrappy team. So Jets at Raiders, another team, another one we can punt in the sun, but we're gonna not punt it because of Antonio Pierce.
Because of Antonio Pierce, but I'm gonna pick the Raiders. Let's go Raiders.
We're gonna go with the Raiders together because I'm not picking any team with Zach Wilson. I'm sorry, he stinks.
He's-
Uh, it's bad. Broncos at Bills for Monday Night Football. Broncos got a whole lot of primetime games, dog. They really thought that.
Hey, what was there something going on behind the scenes that people thought or assumed something that we did? How did the Broncos get so many primetime games, and why are we still being forced to sit through them?
I mean,
That's crazy.
seriously, like
That's
why?
crazy to me. That's crazy.
And
Uh,
like primetime or quasi primetime, like enough. But anyway, here we
Enough.
are, Broncos.
I'm picking the Bills. I think that win over the Chiefs was a fluke. And so I'm picking the Bills.
I am picking the Bill. I don't think it was a fluke because it's a divisional opponent. Sometimes it's just the right things that happen at the right time, but they're not a good enough team. And the Bills lost last week, so I'm going to go with the Bills to rebound in this game. And so that is our week 10 picks. Before we get to our college football segment, we want y'all to know that you need to book your next winter getaway with our sponsor, Expedia. Package your flight and hotel to start saving big. Plus, don't forget to sign up because members earn up to 10 times more one key cash on flights when booking a package. Start saving by clicking the link in the description and booking your next trip with our Expedia promo link. And Chels and I travel a lot, so we'll probably be using our own Expedia link because
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm trying to book these trips and I'm trying to, save some money. So if you're trying to save
Yeah.
some
We
money,
book we book
use our
we
link.
travel all the time except if we travel into a Ravens game in that
That's
case
correct.
I won't travel.
That's correct. But next year, Charles and I will be traveling to Dallas. So we will be using our link that you can see right there. And we will be booking our trip. And I'm excited about it. So
Yeah, because she can't keep me out of my own house.
can't keep her out of our own house. Ain't nothing I can do about that one. So I'm
Man.
definitely, inclined to be with my good friend when we play that, and we'll be using Expedia to do that as well. On to college football. Michigan is a
Yeah.
fucking mess, and now they are trying to snitch and say other teams was watching them and their calls. So this is crazy. Obviously everybody knows by now that they are accused of stealing signs, that they had somebody going to games and was stealing signs, an ex-military guy. And so then Michigan turned around and they sent a letter, basically a rebuttal, and they're asking
Mhm.
them to refrain from disciplinary action against Harbaugh. And then also says, well, Ohio State, Purdue, and some other teams were basically passing notes to each other about Michigan and their calls. So they basically saying everybody else doing the same thing, but it's just me that's gonna get in trouble. Nah, we airing this bitch out. So personally, Charles, I don't think anything big is going to happen during the season. That's just my opinion because
Mhm.
Michigan is in the top four currently, and there's
Yep.
a lot of money invested. But I'm curious to know your thoughts on how this is going to play out.
So who Michigan think they need no Brown? If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of people with me. They think they need no friend, but I agree with you. I don't think anything is going to be done. Michigan is in the top four. It would be way too significant to start putting punishments and sanctions and everything in place. And honestly, if you wanted to see someone get punished for real, you want to see them get punished now, and you want to see them get knocked out of that playoff contention. You don't want to wait till 2 years from now or whatever. So I don't think anything is going to be done. I think that they are enough of a powerhouse that it can be, and John Har and Jim Harbaugh is such a
Yeah.
big name. Like, huh? Yeah, it's such a
No,
big
because you said
name. It's
John
just
at
like,
first, and I said Jim.
yeah, I said John. I flipped it to Jim. It didn't even feel right saying John because we usually don't associate John Harbaugh with mess.
Very true.
But yeah, I think they just messy as hell. Like y'all, I don't know what's going on over there. They messy as hell. They blaming it on other people. And if the other people are guilty, they probably gonna start being quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think anything is gonna come up. It's just clogging our news feed right now.
I agree with you on that. As of right now, I don't see nothing happening because it's just too
Mhm.
much going on. It's too much money involved in the game of college football. So there's that part of it. Is there? I apologize. I'm trying to figure out what games. No, I know what I want to talk about the rankings. So we talked about
Yeah.
Michigan because
Hmm.
they are currently number 3. Ohio State is 1,
Hmm.
Georgia is 2, Michigan is 3, Florida State is 4, with Washington and Oregon right behind them. Texas and Alabama are also behind those guys. So
Hmm.
I want to talk about who the fuck keep putting Ohio State number
And,
1.
uh, the Ohio State has blackmail photos of the selection committee, and they
I'm
have
not
been
saying that they don't
threatening.
belong in the top 4. I'm not saying that they don't belong in the top 4, but I think that they're not the first best. I'm sorry. They're not, look, I, I know
It's
y'all not
almost
gonna like
like they
this.
feel like they got to do it.
I know y'all.
And I feel like it's the Notre Dame effect all over again. Like you just feel like
Yep.
you got to do it because they're such a story team. But we don't want to see that shit. We want to see the real people that's supposed to be ranked that high. Like
I'm
what's going
curious,
on?
right? And I want to. So if
And number one
Florida,
over y'all gonna make me defend Georgia?
yeah, and that's what I don't want to do. Okay, so I
I
wasn't
feel
even going to
sick.
do that.
I feel sick to my stomach.
And I'm also not going to defend Florida State either because please don't help.
Absolutely not.
You
Absolutely
know,
not.
so there's that. But ultimately, this is going to be settled, Charles, because Michigan and Ohio State are going to play in a couple of weeks. So somebody got to lose, which means somebody got to get
Yeah.
out. And then one of these Pac-12 teams is
Somebody
going
gotta
to come and
lose.
move along in there. And I can't wait because I definitely think Washington and Oregon, to me, this is just my opinion, are better than Ohio State. That is me. I'm not mad that Ohio State is in the top 4 because they're undefeated currently. So I don't have a problem with that, but I also don't think that they're better than Oregon. I also don't think that they're better than Michigan. I mean, than Washington. So there's that. No, I don't think that they're better than Michigan. Okay, yeah, that too. So I guess we're gonna find out in a couple of weeks what's gonna
We
happen. I'm
are.
sorry to my Ohio State friends, but I don't really give a fuck. I just think that it's other teams that's better than them. Georgia absolutely should be number 1 because they're the champions. Even Florida State. 2 teams. Why y'all got me defending 2 teams I hate the fucking most, dog?
I refuse to
Now
say
I hate you
anything else.
too,
I
Ohio
cannot,
State.
I cannot defend Georgia. I cannot. I hate being put in this position. I feel icky. I feel icky right now.
It's
But y'all are not
gross.
being logical. It is disgusting.
It is
Like when
fucking
I looked, I
gross.
had
I
to
don't
blink a
want
couple of times, and I was like, "Is that Ohio State number one over Georgia?" I'm literally going to throw up on the podcast. So, but also they put this here, and we keep telling y'all this every year. They put this here so we can argue with each other because
mm-hmm.
November for college football, the next 3 weeks is the determination. Okay, we got significant games coming up this weekend, and we'll talk about that or whatever. But like, this is not final and set, but they just want us to argue with each other right now, and
Yep.
they got me feeling gross because I got to defend
And
Georgia.
as a result, we're arguing. We're doing just what the fuck they
We're
want us to do, which is
like sheep,
argue.
like sheep, like sheep.
All
Hmm.
right, Charles. Couple games this weekend that we are looking forward to. By the way, I will be in Baton Rouge this weekend to see Florida play LSU. Yes, I completely intend them to lose. My Gators ain't gonna win another game this year, and it is what it is. They got the number 3 class, recruiting class coming in next year, so I booked this trip when they was like 5-2, so I don't. Like, it was just good a month ago, and now it's not. So I will be drunk, and
But you gonna
yeah,
be you gonna be on the scene at nighttime.
yeah, it's gonna be
It's
at
gonna
night.
be yeah.
It's gonna be fun. So that's going to be a thing. All right, couple of games that is huge matchups. Michigan at Penn State. What you thinking? I just don't see anybody beating Michigan right now.
No,
I don't know.
I think Michigan's gonna win that game. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just
But if
Penn
they
State don't
don't,
do well in the lights.
no. But if they do beat Michigan, then we're gonna be arguing again next week.
Well, then there's no argument because Michigan got to jump out. They got to jump out
Yeah,
at the
but
top.
somebody gonna go in, and whoever goes in, we probably not gonna agree with.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with Washington or Oregon that goes in
I
either
hope
of
so.
those, quite frankly.
Mhm.
Um, okay, Tennessee and Mizzou plays this weekend. Okay,
Mhm.
interesting matchup. Both teams are 7-2, so that's been fun to see.
Yeah.
Um, Utah at Washington.
Mhm.
Mm,
Uh huh.
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that should
And
be
that's a late
interesting.
one. Is that a late one? I
That
can't
comes
remember if that's
on
a late.
actually no at 3:30. This is the
3:30.
3:30 game.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's going to be good. Um Ole Miss goes to Georgia. They've been good so far this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be an interesting matchup. Georgia is not the same as last year, but they still find ways to win, dog. It's like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
without Brock Bowers, it's crazy.
They are very well coached.
They
Very,
are.
very well coached.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
USC is playing Oregon. That should be very good. That comes on at
I,
10:30. That's the good. Well, and I don't know.
that's
I don't know if how good is it going
so
to be? Because that defense at USC is terrible.
it is terrible, and but football is so strange. And if they were to find a way to beat Oregon, it's arguing time.
Arguing
Um,
time.
Arguing time. So
Yeah.
you never know. You
I don't
never
think
know.
that's happening, by the way. That ain't happening. But because that defense can't stop a nosebleed, champ.
I know they're
So
terrible.
that's out.
They're
But
terrible.
ultimately, yeah, they are terrible. But I think Caleb Williams is going to keep them in it, so that's what's going to keep it fun
Hmm.
to watch. So we'll be looking forward to those games this weekend. All right, Charles, it's time. Volcano time. Who are you putting in the volcano?
I am so happy to be doing this because I should have done this a long time ago when probably about 8, 9 years ago, this young man blocked me on Twitter, probably unjustly because I don't bother anyone. But I
Are we
am
sure about
putting,
this? Wait a
I'm
minute. Are we
positive
sure
about
about
this.
this?
I'm positive about this. I'm positive about this, friend. And I would like for you to start supporting me a little bit better than what you're doing. I am putting Chad Ochocinco in the volcano
Okay.
because recently, and we see for the last week, and if you have not been under a rock, you know about our the Black representation food critic Keith Lee. Lee. And we all love Keith Lee. If you don't love Keith Lee, then something is probably wrong with you. You're probably a jealous hater. But Keith Lee is a regular dude, self-proclaimed regular dude, going to regular places, eating and reviewing the food. He's minding his business. He's doing good things. He's raising his family. He's an MMA fighter, so you can't whoop his ass. I like him a lot. I like his personality. I like his delivery. I especially like when he breaks like he uses a specific cadence, a specific way of talking. But when he
Yeah.
eats the food that's really good, you see the real voice come out, and he be like, "My Lord!" And I said, "There he is. That food must be good, right?" Everybody loved Keith Lee. He's out there giving $1,000 tips. He's out there. Businesses have been flourishing because of him. They're flooding his inbox trying to get him to come and rate their food. Food trucks, mom and pop places. He's retired a teacher. He has done all of these wonderful things. And here come Chad Ochocinco. Don't read, don't research, but always got something to say. And now his big authority as the person who, the only thing I know that him being an authority of is a whole bunch of kids, a whole bunch of baby mamas, and eating at McDonald's 6 times a week. And here he comes talking about he is ruining the black community and black businesses. And why is he talking about this? And he's talking about this on his show with Shannon Sharp, which is, I really like that show. I like that Shannon Sharp, right? And Shannon Sharp is like, hey, hello, listen, hey, I don't think you know. The man is trying to help you out. You can't even listen to the man on the other side of the camera who's trying to tell you that you are wrong about everything you were saying, because he's seen one tweet or one other dummy. You know how the dummy effect is. It's like a domino effect, the dummy effect. One dummy say something and the rest of the dummies go right along with it. And he was completely adamant that this man is out here ruining. He has never seen any of his videos. He didn't know anything about him, but he didn't seen one person say, oh, he critiquing black businesses. He's ruining black businesses and blah, blah, blah. And he was adamant. I mean, he was going for it. And then he had to admit that his own daughter told him he was wrong. So people had to pull his collar after the fact. When you had an opportunity, Shannon Sharp is right there trying to tell you, shut up.
Right.
People had to pull his collar after the fact and tell him that he was wrong. And now he had to come back and say that he was wrong. He found out more information. And one thing I do like, but it didn't say from the volcano, is that he said, I did not do my research. I did not listen. I reacted to something that I saw. And that is a lesson for a lot of y'all, not me, because I don't do that. That is a lesson for a lot of y'all, is you don't read nothing. Didn't Van Latham tell people, y'all don't read nothing. That's why you dumb out here. Yep. You don't read, you don't research, and all you do is react to every single thing you say. And now you look like a big dummy on the internet in front of everybody. This man got all these, and even Keith Lee responded to him. And Keith Lee said, you clearly have never seen any of my videos.
Oh,
Keith
I love
Lee
the way they cleared him.
He cleared him out.
And he added a sprinkle of holy water on it. It was very nice.
He put some little parsley on that. He was like, you clearly don't know who I am. Here are all of the things I did. He made him look dumb. So now Shannon Sharp is your boy. He tried to save you from being out here looking dumb, and you didn't listen to him. Now Keith Lee and his 14 million followers and everybody else, now you out here looking super, super, super dumb. And you had no choice. He had no choice but to apologize for it and admit that he's a big dummy that don't read and don't research and just reacts and just be talking out here. And the only thing you know about is McDonald's and making all these babies and shit like that. So guess what? Go into the volcano, because I've had enough. And keep me blocked.
Yeah. In the volcano, and I, the block thing is probably gonna stay anyway, because you just really read him his rights at just now. So I think you're gonna stay blocked because you just went off on that man, rightfully so, right? Like, I don't know what happened to the days of people wanting to be informed and knowing information before they spoke. I don't understand why people are just so eager to speak on things that they don't have enough information on. It's very weird behavior to me. This is why I tend to be quiet when anything comes out, because I need more information.
Yeah.
I just need more information before I can formulate an opinion. It's okay to wait to formulate an opinion about things, guys. That's all I'm saying. So, and Chad, you're no different. You need to fucking wait, or you need to do your research, or listen to the people around you telling you, hey, you're wrong, and then having to do that. So now you backtracking because you shot off at the foot and on your mouth, and now you just sound stupid. So I'm throwing referees and the volcano. That is for the NFL as well as the NBA.
Oh
Giannis
my
getting
God, yes.
out of the game for staring at a dude from a dunk. Now, apparently they don't have a. Apparently they've been testy before, the guy that he dunked on, Giannis. But ultimately, I don't care about their past. As long as nobody starts swinging, there should be not be an ejection there. NFL refs have been terrible, and this feels like, and look, we talk about this every year, but it feels really egregious this year. NBA refs have always been bad, and they get paid
Yeah.
full time. So do y'all look? Nobody came to see you, Otis. No one comes to see refs. No one comes to see y'all. They come to
No.
see the players. They don't come to see the stripes. Stop inserting yourselves in these events. Stop making yourself the focal point. It's not about you. It's about the game. Y'all are tarnishing these games because you want to be somebody important. And I don't know if anything is going to happen on either league about this shit. I feel like they just letting this shit ride because they have to stand behind them. But that's bullshit. If somebody isn't doing their work the way that they're supposed to, you need to call them out. There needs to be consequences behind that. That
Absolutely.
ref should be suspended.
Hey, money is always the way you get people moving. I don't understand why you don't just start docking people's pay. Like when New York gets it for the NFL, when New York gets everything on Monday, and then then you start seeing the releases where they say, oh, well, this was a bad call, this was a bad call. Y'all need to start docking these people pay, because if you mess with my money, I'm gonna make sure I'm doing my job exactly the right way. And if I ain't sure, I'm gonna say, hey, run that video back. I need to make sure. But there is no accountability. There is only an oops. And
Only an
oops don't
oops.
fix it.
Oops don't fix shit. Y'all got to start taking money from these people. You got it just the same way that y'all can sit there and take money from these players when they do something wrong. Then you need to start taking money from these refs. Same way, because I bet you that shit will stop.
Absolutely.
Don't nobody want their money taken away from them. And these refs ain't getting paid the same amount of money that these players are getting. So y'all, and yes, it is a part-time job or whatever. But so what? I ain't trying to fuck up. I ain't trying to fuck
Nope.
up and get my money involved in these types of situations. So, refs in the NBA are full time, but essentially nobody ain't trying. Look, I ain't trying to get no money deducted from my pay.
Mm-mm.
So I ain't
Mm-mm.
gonna be out here doing no dumb shit, okay? But I bet you if you start telling people that their money is affected, then maybe that's a different story. So something's got to
Yep.
give. Y'all got to stop putting yourselves in these games. It's ridiculous, and it's hurting the
It's
product
terrible.
because I don't even want to watch big profile games half the time now because I just got a feeling the refs are going to be involved some way somehow, and it's sad.
Yep.
Um, Anything you want to talk about? Final thoughts before we go, Charles?
No, I don't. My only final thought, I hope you have a good, safe time, friend, this weekend. I'll be a little
Thank you.
concerned. You down there, you literally jumping into the mosh pit down there in Baton Rouge and Death Valley at night against whoa, you are brave and bold. But I hope you have a good time. And I'm also looking forward to another good weekend of football. November college football is my favorite college football, but it
Yes,
also means that the end is coming.
yes.
Yeah, so just looking forward to another great weekend of college football.
Yes, I am excited about because this is when it gets good. It's the last 3 weeks. And then the last regular season game is going to be Thanksgiving weekend. So that's rivalry weekend. So I mean, we're getting towards the end, man. Then conference championships,
I know.
then
Oh, I got one
selection.
more thing. Oh my
Yeah.
God. the whole reason why I'm wearing this shirt today, Virginia
Okay.
Union University Panthers. So, and if you didn't know, my father went to Virginia Union. My brother is a Virginia Union alumni, Mr. VEU, and he was on the Virginia Union's 2001 championship team. And this Saturday, they are going back to the CIAA championship, playing Fayetteville State. So,
Yeah.
and everybody is really excited about that. They just beat Virginia State last weekend, and so I was at that game. They honored the 2001 championship team at that game, so they were all on the field and everything. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to. Hopefully I'll be able to watch the game. And shout out to my boy Stephen Gaither at HBCU Game Day, who will be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, go VUU, go Panthers.
Yes, that's dope. That is dope. And you had a good
Yep.
time at the homecoming, I saw.
Yeah, and that's what it looked like. It looked like it wasn't homecoming, but it looked like homecoming because
Oh, it wasn't. Okay.
no,
Well, excuse
no, it
me. I didn't
wasn't.
really know it was.
But it was tailgating. It looked exactly like homecoming, and it was so many people there. Like when I tell you, I was at the top. So if you could think of nosebleeds and the bleachers and the outside, that's where I was at the very top. But up there where the announcer was, child, because Virginia, child. Meanwhile, my brother was on the sideline because those privileges. But that Richmond, it's like families divided. So either you went to Virginia Union or you went to Virginia State. So it wasn't really like a home field advantage type thing because it's like literally mixed families. So I was sitting with my cousins, and one set of cousins are siblings. One went to Virginia Union, one went to Virginia State. So that's why it was so congested there. But yeah, it did look like homecoming. People kept saying this
It
is
did.
homecoming 2.0. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it was a good time. My final thought is that guys, we went back an hour, so this is the time of year where we start seeing a lot of seasonal depression. Make sure you take your vitamin D, up it a little bit to help you. If you need a mood light to help you, do those things. If it feels worse than that, talk to somebody because I do get seasonal depression, so it's something that's very common for me, but I've learned to try to mitigate those types of things. So please take care of yourselves. And it's okay to, emote. I know we didn't talk about Caleb Williams much or at all, really. But the discourse that I've seen about people tells me a lot of y'all ain't been hugged. A lot of y'all ain't been told that
Yeah.
they love you. A lot of y'all need therapy because for whatever reason y'all feel like people emoting is weird or
Mm-hmm.
not manly or whatever. It's very weird behavior, and I would like you to go look into yourself and find out why you consider that to be weird. Okay,
Go talk to the lady.
go talk to the lady.
Go talk to
Go
the
talk
lady.
to the
We need
lady.
we need to see Caleb. We need to see more men emoting, crying, being vulnerable, and stuff like that.
I
Because we've
mean,
seen
if
such
I'm
an
Caleb Williams, I'm
opportunity.
fucking tired. I'm fucking tired of being the
Tired.
only
I'm
person that's
tired.
well, not the only, but that offense is the only side of the ball that gives a shit. I would be
Yeah.
upset.
Right. Right. So go
So
talk to
yeah,
the lady.
yeah. So go talk to the lady, and that's for everybody. Everybody, look. Sometimes we just need to talk to somebody, and putting it on your family and friends might be a little bit
Mm-hmm.
too much because they going through something. So it is okay to talk to
Mm-hmm.
the lady. And again, if you found Caleb Williams' actions to be weird, you need to talk to the lady too because you need to figure out why that was weird, why you consider that to be weird. It's something within you. It's not Caleb Williams, I promise you. Okay, so shout out to my cat who always feels like she has to be involved in the motherfucking podcast. I mean, you
God
can't,
said you've been on here talking to the people too long.
she did. She did. She literally was
God.
like, I gave you an hour and you was doing too much. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get in the on here. So shout out to the cat who wants to have her time. I
God
guess
do
that
not
makes
care
sense.
about you at all.
She don't care about my feelings. She don't care about this
And
podcast.
then she
She don't
just
care about
walked out.
my
It's like I just saw something like this.
yes. So if you're
Oh,
watching on the YouTube, it is the cat. It is not just a blur because yes, I have like a blurred background. It is the cat that loves to be on all my podcasts. By the way, it's not just Gridiron Gals. She loves to be on all of them. So shout out to
God.
her. But we want to thank you all all for listening. Of course, we'll be back next week, so we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.